busy coastal promenade of Nice, France, is famous for its sun, its crowded pebble beaches, and its money. It is the absolute last place you'd expect to find a brazen, high-stakes crime scene. When police arrived at the Société Générale bank, they braced for a violent, bloody standoff. They stack up, breach the impenetrable door of the main vault, and ready their weapons. But they are met with absolute stillness. There are no fleeing robbers and no injured hostages. Instead, they find a bizarre array of anomalies. 400 metal safe deposit boxes lie smashed open and scattered. Mingled in the debris are the casual remnants of cooked meals and expensive wine. A cryptic manifesto is scrawled on the wall: without weapons, without violence, without hate. No alarms had been tripped, and the reinforced vault doors were perfectly intact. To explain how an unbreached room lost millions over a quiet weekend, investigators had to start looking underground. To reverse engineer this seemingly impossible crime, investigators had to map the bank's heavy architecture against the city's subterranean infrastructure. This 3D cross-section illustrates the critical geographical flaw they discovered. The highly fortified bank vault sat right next to the massive underground sewer system of Nice. The criminal architect who identified this hidden vulnerability was a charismatic mastermind named Albert Spaggiari. Spaggiari knew traditional safecrackers and getaway drivers couldn't pull this off. He needed to execute a massive logistical undertaking, so he recruited a crew of professional miners. The conditions were grueling. Working covertly, the crew spent 2 months performing back-breaking labor, digging an 8-meter tunnel through thick mud and solid rock. By approaching the heist as a slow, methodical civil engineering project rather than a fast smash-and-grab, Spaggiari guaranteed their success before they even entered the bank. Spaggiari timed the extraction for a long holiday weekend. Above ground, the bank was completely locked up and abandoned. The miners finally broke through the solid rock, emerging directly through the vault floor. They had entirely bypassed the multi-ton reinforced steel doors securing the entrance. With the bank securely closed for the long weekend, the isolation gave the crew their most valuable asset: absolute, uninterrupted time. This data visualization shows exactly how lucrative that isolation was. Over 48 hours, they spent their time methodically cracking open lockboxes, extracting over 60 million francs in wealth. They were so confident in their security that they treated the bank vault like a luxury hotel. They securely cooked hot meals and drank wine while they worked. The eerie stillness of the crime scene reflected a criminal architect who had maintained total control over the environment. The flawless physical execution was eventually compromised by human error. A subsequent tip-off finally led police to arrest Spaggiari. He was brought to the Palais de Justice for a court hearing. Facing overwhelming evidence, it looked certain that his legendary run would end with a mundane prison sentence. But Spaggiari executed one final gambit. He approached the judge's bench and handed over a complex coded document, claiming it contained the exact details of the heist. The document was, of course, completely fake. While the judge was distracted trying to read the cipher, Spaggiari turned around and leapt straight out of the 2-story courtroom window. He landed safely, hopped directly onto a perfectly timed waiting motorcycle, and vanished into the streets of Nice with the money forever. Spaggiari's success came from treating the bank's primary defenses as irrelevant, relying instead on civil engineering, months of silence, and a final calculated distraction.